Good evening, poker community. It is Sunday night at around 9:30. Welcome to the APAT show. How are you, Lee?
I'd be good if we didn't have the technical problems that I'm having at
We've
the
got a
moment,
tech problem.
we're working on it. Nice to see you all on this Sunday evening. Yeah, I'm running everything in safe mode, Des. I don't know what else to say.
We don't normally do that around here, Lee.
No, that's what we've gone for. Is everything in safe mode, and hopefully we'll get things up and running. I think I may have access again now to the. To what we want. I'm just going to get it going. But yeah, hope you're all well on this Sunday morning. We are planning on hopefully getting some poker up on the screen for you very shortly. And if I can get this all up and running, but we have got a satellite up and running on Grosvenor Poker tonight for it's going to be 2 more seats for APAT Players' Choice seats for 2025, but with 18 of you in the satellite, and you've got 4 minutes if you want to join this. There's 7 of them left, so to be honest, 2 more and it's going to go to 4 seats. So it's 3 seats at the moment. There's currently cash for 4th and 5th. There's only 7 players left. You got 4 minutes to jump in. To be honest, this is a perfect time. This is Dara time, as it would be called, to get yourself sat in for a chance to at least try and get your buy-in back for 5th place at the moment. You'd make £1.40 if you finish 5th. There's only 7 of them left, and I think a few might have jumped in because I'm looking at that table now and I'm counting 8 at that table, Des. So I think at least one person may well have.
Amazing.
One person does that. DJ Red 16 has just jumped in. That's 19. One more, and we're going to go to 4 seats on this. So keep an eye on that. I'm just going to set one other thing up that I've got to do because I've had to do a whole reboot and everything about 2 minutes before we started. So,
Lee, among those things that you're doing, do you have any volume slightly on there in the background by any chance? I'm hearing a little echo of us. I wonder if it's a volume. I can't see anything on my side.
No, everything is off.
Weird.
But I am hearing that as well, if that makes you any stranger. But hey, it seems to be gremlins on a Sunday night for us. What can we say? But you've got 3 minutes if you want to get into this APAT Sunday live satellite. These are for £140 APAT Players' Choice seats for 2025. You can use them for any event. Next up is Liverpool next month. Then we've got the Worlds in Nottingham in August. Then plus a whole load of options for later on in the year. So if you fancy getting involved in this, you've got 2 minutes to find it. It's under events and then partners, and then you'll see the APAT tab and you'll find it there. £30 buy-in unless you've already got yourself a £30 ticket. And you've worked your way up through the steps on Grosvenor, the £1 into £5 into £30. If not, then it's going to take £30 of your hard-earned cash if you want to go jump in this. Another person has. We're up to 20. Damien D has actually re-entered, so obviously just bust and has given it. Decided, you know what? Looking at that looks good value. I'll give it another go. So we've got 9 left, which is we're going back to this weird hand for hand thing because it's kind of technically hand for hand for a final table because we've got 9 again now. So we're doing that. Whilst we're doing that, I'm just going to go and find the link I want for the fantasy WSOP page, so we can have a bit of a chat about that later on. Should also say, I mean, obviously we've got satellites going on here for £140 each. If £140 is not quite the sort of bankroll you're looking for, we've got an amazing new draw on poker raffles that started this week. Dusk Till Dawn Summer 2025 draw, where you can win £560 seat and a choice of things of what you want to play with. Basically, one of those is you can have it as seat credit for the WCOP in August. So basically, it's kind of get you 4 entries, 4 £140 entries. Only problem is, if you want to be in for this week's draw, tough. because it's sold out. It's sold out earlier on today, so it's completely gone. There's another one up for next week, but if you're thinking, oh, I'll get into that for tomorrow night's draw, no can do. I'm afraid. Same for the APAT draw for this week as well. Both of those are sold out like 36 hours ahead of time. But there are 2 new draws live for next week, so get in early if you want to get involved in that. Would be my recommendation for you. Right, I will now go and find what I'm looking for again. So we're down to 9 in this satellite. It's going to be now top. What's going to be top 4 are going to all get a seat, and there's one with late reg is less than a minute away. So if you're going to jump in, now is the time to do it. Meanwhile, I'm going to go and find the link that I want.
Yeah, well, while you're doing that, Lee, Damien is out there in the chat box. You said that he just rebought. Good evening from Damien. Good evening to you, Damien. Barry Cullen is there as well. Evening, people, says Barry. Evening to you, Barry. And Wayne Parker, Nosy P. No luck tonight. Unlucky, Wayne. Unlucky, my friend.
But thank you for being in and registering early, Wayne. Wayne was one of the ones that got in early, which meant that it did kick off on time at 8 o'clock tonight. So thank you very much for all you guys to get in early. It does help. I know some people like to late reg for these things, but ultimately, if it doesn't get 5 runners, it doesn't start on time. So we are reliant on some people doing that for us and helping out. I'm on super laggy Lagsville tonight, so I hope for the hopefully the stream's coming through. I'm just doing everything in slow motion this end, but I think it's streaming okay. So
everything that I'm seeing seems to be fine.
Yeah, I think we're okay from that point of view. But I'm just on a absolute go slow with everything, unfortunately. But so what we'll do is we'll have a bit of a chat about, the fantasy WSOP whilst this is playing down to it's back to a final table again now of 8. But we'll say before this gets to kind of the top 4, we'll have a catch up on everything. Because can you believe John's updated 36 events, so there's 100 events in the WSOP this time round, and we're up to 36 of those now have got a result and are locked in. It's just some ridiculous point scoring.
I saw you had good points, Lee. I only had one look at the table. I've been away sort of all week. I had one look at the table, and I think I saw that John and
John was in the lead
John
at
was
one point,
way up
and
there,
then
wasn't he?
Hearts of Queens were up leading it for a little while. That was one that I put in and put together. Then John was leading it. Then Talk Club were leading it for a little while this week, and it's now been overtaken by Peter Kelly, who's currently the leader with 199 points at the moment.
Wow.
Just watching Tristan All-In with the ace-8 there against Red Nev's King-10. And King-10 has got there. Red Nev won a seat last week in this satellite. So looking to do the double, as is Seymour Tilts, Alan Ellis as well, looking to do the back-to-back double week after week. Both of them on this final table now, and we are down to 7. Top 4 are going to pick up a seat here. So it's starting to getting tight. Let's just look at the chip stacks here. So short stack is Damien, who's got 10 bigs, has got it all in. Ace-6 against Ace-8 of no cash, which is Dave Garden. And a 6 on the river for Damien. Gets him a double up and leaves Dave with now the short stack with 9 bigs. You'd like to think Red Nev with 80 bigs is sitting pretty comfortable here, with now 4 of the 7 remaining are all going to pick up a seat. Probably don't want to go too silly. The other 5 have got between sort of 25 bigs and 40 bigs. So again, they've all got a decent stack here now, as Dave Gunn's all in with his 9 bigs, being called by Damien and also called by Wolfie. 10s and kings, ace-4 for Dave. and he's going to depart, and we're also going to lose Damien as well. The Kings play, which means we're on the bubble. Wow. This
short
is
show tonight, Lee.
over. Now, this is ridiculous because so the short stack here now has got 30 bigs.
Well, might be another hour or two then.
So it's difficult to know how this is going to play out, but I don't know whether John's updating the fantasy website. It's just told me there's been a lot of changes, and I need to resync apparently. And it's we'll see whether it's changed much or not. When I do a quick refresh on that, but so we're down. So this is now the bubble. So 4 of these 5 are going to pick up a £140 seat. As I say, and Seymour Tilts and Red Nev both going for back to backs. And no, it hasn't. That hasn't changed. But so I won't jump to the. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll watch this play out, and then we'll have a chat about everything else because this is interesting. Now, there's a lot of chips there. That's absolutely flown by pretty quick. Normally, you find with these satellites, it gets really tight as it's getting close to the seats, and no one's everyone's a little bit nervous, not wanting to give their chips away too lightly. Very difficult there for the Kings of Wolfie not to get involved in that particular hand. You can understand the ace shove from Dave Gardner, and I guess the tens calling makes a lot of sense as well. Really, from Damien, just a crazy hand to bust 2 players close to the prizes. Really.
No, I mean sometimes it goes like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Wayne was saying there he got in with a $5 sat or £5 sat.
I mean, that's the value nice. Is there, you can do that.
Value is there if you can be patient.
I've been saying for the last few weeks, and I genuinely believe that the satellite structure we've got going on. I know we only have one main satellite on a Sunday night, but this is believe this is the best one we've ever had for online seats. So we're guaranteeing two seats every single Sunday night, and you can satellite into that finals any day of the week. So basically from 4:00 till about 11:00 every day of the week, Grosvenor. This could be it all over. Ace Jack versus the tens, and it's Nick who's hit the tens. We are done. Wowzers!
Gee,
I mean, just ridiculous.
18 minutes, Lee, and I think we started 4 minutes late. Wow,
I mean,
well
why
done,
about the text? So, Red Nev, back-to-back, won last week, has won again this week. Congratulations to Wolfie, 2369. Seymour Tilt, back-to-back, won last week as well. Congratulations to you, Alan, and Sir Cross, which is Nick Crossfield. Congratulations to you. You have all won £140 Players' Choice seats. You'll get added to our list. We're managing the admin on that. All you need to do is contact Tom Brady and let him know in advance when you want to play, so he's just to make sure he's got enough cash in his pocket, basically. But worst case is you can still rock up, and he'll be able to sort it out for you. We had a load of players that used up some tickets to play in Coventry a few weeks back, so yeah, basically you'll be on the list, and if you can let us know in advance, then we can we can actually just get you added as seat credit at the DTD cash desk, which is even easier for us, because then pretty much you can just rock up and give your name, and they'll have it there ready to use for you. That's the APAT poker kind of done and dusted for the night. Goodness me, We'll move over to something far more interesting, I guess. I will try and bring up the. Let's see if we can get the.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. So we can get some more interesting stuff done up. So, I mean, I had loads of stuff I wanted to talk to everybody about. I was going to get in super early and say so. This afternoon, I sat and watched the Mike Mattisau documentary that's now available free to stream on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I watched that now. A couple of months back, I watched the Feraldo one that was on iPlayer. I think it's still on iPlayer if I remember rightly. So I don't know whether anyone's here. But I was then curious, going, well, what else is out there? Anybody got any other recommendations of poker documentaries, that are available free to stream in the UK or whatever? Yeah, let me know. So in the chat, if you've got any others, say I watched the Feraldo one. Well, I spoke to him about it when I was in Dublin, so it must have been sort of March time. I must have watched that, and then I think I saw somebody post somewhere in the APAT group about the Mike Matzo one was up on YouTube. So I thought I'll sit and watch. I mean, you have to sit through all the adverts as well, so it was a bit longer than it needed to be. And but yeah, fascinating. Obviously, it's all about Mike, it's and not necessarily always in a good way. But yeah, really, really interesting story. And if anybody's got any others, stick it in the chat. Let me know if you've got any other ones you've come across of interest. But yeah, as far as World Series goes, and I must admit, Des, watching it did make me go, because it showed him playing at the series probably for the last 4 or 5 years or something like that. And so the last one was when it was the first time it had moved to Paris and Horseshoe. And I'm sat watching this afternoon going, it's all going on in Vegas. It's all going on in Vegas, isn't it? Yeah, it's all going on in Vegas. And boy, is it all going on in Vegas. I'm in a group chat with Pete Wigglesworth and Danny Weaver, because they've got some people that have staked them for some of their schedules. So they're updating on what's going on there. And you wake up in the morning to 30 WhatsApp messages from what's been going on in Vegas overnight. And I saw Dara has just landed and playing his first tournament and everything. Yeah, there is a little bit of me
shorts, Lee. Some short videos could be good.
Yeah, there is a little bit of me that's kind of going, I could just get on a plane and go over there for a couple of weeks. But it's not to be this year. I don't think, unfortunately. But it is all going on there. And say the fantasy competition. Well, it's absolutely hotting up. Can you believe? So 36 events that John's logged, or 37 now, I think it is. So that's nearly a third. The leader's got 199 points at the moment. They run a prediction competition where you predict how many points you think the winner's going to get,
right.
And the highest guess was 510.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the person that had that guess is the guy that's leading it at the moment. And I think he might have lowballed his own.
He's on around 200 at the moment.
He's on 199. Peter Kelly is on he's on 199. I will find you Peter's team now, and we can have a chat through it. I might need to make these a bit bigger once I get there, so bear with me a second. So much data on this spreadsheet from John. I should just say hats off, as we've said before, to John. But yeah, phenomenal effort with all of this. Go on.
Simon was just saying there, Dreamers by Above the Felt is another doc you should look out for, I guess, on YouTube. Thank you, Simon.
Stuff. Indeed. So there's Peter Kelly's 199. No substitutions or late entries. So this is it. And you can just count up the bracelets you've got there. So Artur Martirosyan has got, obviously, I'm pretty sure he's got a bracelet. Benny Glazer's obviously got 2.
Yeah,
done nothing else, just a couple of bracelets. John Racner's got a bracelet. Only rocked up about 10 days in after the birth of his third child. First tournament he played, won a bracelet. Easy game, isn't it? This poker. Nick Schulman obviously has picked up a bracelet. Interesting. Patrick Leonard is scoring quite nicely. Hasn't won
quietly,
a bracelet yet, but has run deep in a few events. And obviously Sean Deeb is doing what Sean Deeb always does. So that's Peter Kelly's 199, which is super impressive so far. I don't know Michael Watson, so I don't know whether that's maybe just a dud choice. Hard to know whether Robert Mizrachi will score a huge amount either, but as far as the others go, he's got a decent old selection. You mentioned my teams. Let's go and find mine. So 157 is my second team at the moment. Again, I've got Benny Glaser and John Raciner, Nick Schulman. So I've got 4 bracelets in that team. I'm quite happy that I've got a team of 10 that have all scored some points. So that means they're all there.
Yeah,
and that's always a quite a good sign, to say the least. But number of teams scoring pretty decent. Mark Nichols there below me on 164 at the moment. I'm going to find the Talk Club team, because they were Stefan Fisher's 2 teams doing all right, 110, 146. Talk Club on 188.
Wow.
So currently, I think it's in the 2nd or 3rd place.
Yeah.
Again, got Benny Glaser with a couple of bracelets. Bradley Rubin with a bracelet. Negrano, not won one yet, but scored 26 points already, which is quite nice. Schulman, we mentioned. So that Talk Club team is doing all right. Corey Aldermere, obviously, who won the main event. When we're talking 4 years ago, 4 years ago,
5, 6,
3 or 4 years, something maybe more than that. I don't even know that he's there, to be honest, but not got any points so far. Obviously, the Benny Glaser one is the kind of I guess the story so far. From the series. I mean, of the I think of the now, was it 37 or maybe 38 actual results or whatever it is that have come in so far? Half of those bracelets are first-time winners, which is really wow. I think that's really great to see. So half of the bracelets that have been won so far are first-time bracelet winners. Obviously, there's some people that are winning, have won significant. What is that? Was that Benny Glaser's? Is it 5th and 6th or 6th and 7th? I can't remember which way round it was. Oh, actually, I can tell you. Let me go to the let's go to the to here. We can find him, because on the WSOP website you've got a list of all of the winners. So that was event 8 was Benny Glaser's 6th. I think it was event 15 he also won. Let's have a look. So 6th and 7th for him. But which is pretty phenomenal, to say the least. But long way to go yet to think that's 37 results that John's got marked up there so far, and there's 100 events in total. So a long way to go. Alan Kessler scoring well, 140 points. Lots of people now over the 100 mark. I did see somebody, I think, that was in, should give a shout out. Oh no, it's Paul Roper's got 170. So I think Talk Club are in 2nd place at the moment, and then Paul Roper is in 3rd with 170. I think that's the order. John needs to work on his ordering leaderboard thing. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on the guy. I mean, he's putting a decent shift in for us.
He's doing all right.
I mean, if he wants to, if you're out there, John, if you want to outsource automatically organised leaderboard in order, I can arrange that for you this week without too much pull. I've got the odd bit of experience of automated leaderboards in the years. But John does a phenomenal job. The data that's in here, Des, is just ridiculous. So much going on, and just to get all the results. I mean, you go into the results section, and he's scrolling through, and that's worrying. Results section's blank. Oh no, there we go.
Have you just deleted everything, Lee?
Am I not in read only? No. Yeah, exactly. But even just pulling all this together, he says it's reliant on gathering all of this information, and it's just phenomenal. Numbers are looking pretty good. Numbers are looking pretty good. Obviously, there's a guest competition. So the Colossus got 16,000 entries in the end.
Slightly up on last year.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I would have to go and Hendon mob that to.
I guess the big one will be the main event, as is always, and I can see from. The sort of guess the number of entrants competition that the boys run, that there's a healthy level of Skepticism that we'll go over 10,000 again, some below, a few above, for sure. It seems to be nicely split, actually. It'd be really interesting to see what that number is.
I think there's obviously concerns before the series that there's a lot of things going on in the world at the moment, and would that have an impact on the numbers? And I think probably those negative thoughts have been outweighed by the positives, the really good work that's gone on with the WSOP Plus app and the information that's available, how easy it is to now for people to buy in.
Yeah.
Once you get through the first verification queue, it would appear that there's not really many queues anywhere else, so people aren't waiting in line for a long time. You're no longer then waiting in a line to be allocated a seat, because on the app you just click the seat now and it basically tells you where to go. So where there's available seat, it'll sit you down if there is one. So you're no longer queuing. Do you remember that a couple of years ago where that walkthrough I did, where they were queuing round the ballroom at Paris and out the and that was all. That wasn't for buying in. That was all to get a seat.
Yeah, it's
allocation.
It was nuts.
So it's such an improvement. I think the only thing now is I saw Patrick Leonard complaining about was the temperature in Paris was ridiculously
really warm.
Cold apparently. Cold. I think it was.
Of course,
so,
that would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, that in itself is a balancing act, right? In a building of that size with so many different kind of chambers, to get that temperature right is I'm sure a challenge in itself. But yeah, it can get super cold in there. So, I mean, at least if it's cold, Lee, you can dress appropriately, albeit you then have to carry that stuff around with you once you leave the AC'd areas.
Yeah, no, exactly. So interesting. Simon's view on it, that feels that selections with bracelets won't win more than one other. So not feeling like anybody's going to win more than maybe two bracelets throughout. I guess it's maybe it's more the high rollers and things where there's likely to, because the field size on those is a lot smaller, I guess. And when you take something like, well, it's on the screen there, so I mean, perfect comparison here, isn't it? So you've got the Colossus event with 16,000 runners, and the event before that was the 10K Dealer's Choice with 152 runners. They both score exactly the same points in the fantasy competition. So I guess it's the high rollers and the super high rollers, because there are like 100K buy-ins and things like that. Although there was an interesting article on that which was suggesting that nobody had any of their own action, all of their own action in that. There was a lot of swaps going on and backers, which then suggests a little bit like, well, it's a bit skeptical. Right? Yeah, exactly. It's AI on a different scale, isn't it? Really.
Lee, one Mr. Peter Kelly is out there enjoying the series so far. Thanks, guys, for the work on the fantasy comp. Of course, you're talking about Carl and John, Peter, who do a magnificent job, as you quite rightly said. We've been through Peter's team, Lee. So what?
I'm curious to know then. So Peter's guessed a 510 for the winning score. He's currently on 199. Peter, do you think you're gonna? How close do you think you're going to be to your 510, or do you think we're only a third in? Do you think is your team? If based on what Simon's saying, is your team? Can you sustain that? Could you get triple that points and get it around 600 mark? Is that doable? No reason not to.
Unusual. I mean, what was it not in and around the 350 to 400 mark was kind of more par for this over the last couple of years?
Yeah, but it is interesting that that there was one event, and it was up on the Facebook. The points that were being scored was just ridiculous. I posted up in the chat and said, have we ever had an event that has generated that many points for fantasy players? Because it was just ridiculous number of points up and available. But in fact, it might have been. I don't think it was that Dealer's Choice one. It was a more recent. Let me see if I can find it. Because John only puts in this results thing. John only puts the points in if a player's been picked.
Yeah,
so if it's blank, if you're wondering, if you're looking at this results thing and thinking, well, why has he not got points for all of those? Basically, if they're not in the fantasy, no one's picked them in the fantasy comp, then they're so you've got a couple here. The entire final table, nobody had picked anybody that made that final table, so you'll get a lot of those as well.
Yeah, no points go into the game. Andy Coyle's out there, Lee says, doesn't need to be winning bracelets, just cashing, getting points. D-Negs apparently just had 14 bullets in the $600, what we're calling a Colossus aim. The aim is just to get player of the year points. Simon says, through 100 events, is it possible? Spanner, in theory. I'm not sure what he means by spanner, but, more events, albeit not that many more. So we'll see.
I think it was this 10K no limit do 7 low ball where we had picks that were in the top 3 plus Benjamin Yu, who will have been popular. Dan Smith will have been popular. Negreanu will have been popular. I think it might have been that one with Nick Schulman winning it. Possibly there was the one that just was points were going everywhere.
Yeah, wowzers. I have to say, Lee, I did my normal thing where I subscribe for a quarter on Poker Go, like the week before the World Series of Poker, full of excitement. I haven't seen any of it because I sort of haven't been around much. But I will have the main event on in the background once the main event starts. But I just put it up on screen there a little while ago. There's no events on tonight apparently, but tomorrow night it is showing as day 2 of the 250K super high roller, or whatever it is that particular event is called. I have no idea what players have made it through, whether in fact day 1 is today, which I guess in all likelihood it is. But that's something that could be interesting, albeit you quite rightly said it's hard to know who, if anyone, has a significant percentage of themselves in a tourney like that.
Well, there's your team so far.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're glad John
managed
to make it. I'm just going to go and have a look on the this is the beauty with the WSOP Plus app. It's just phenomenal. All the info on here. So the 250K super high roller is currently on a break, Des. So they're all currently in the VR. They'll be in the VIP lounge somewhere at the moment. They've got 8 minutes and 15 seconds left on the break. So guys, if you're out there playing the super high roller, you've got 8 minutes to get back to your seat. If you can do that, they've only played a couple of levels so far because obviously it is still only, what are we now, 10 o'clock here, so it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon over in Vegas. We have got 27 players are in that. All 27 are still in it, so that's just your 6.67 million prize pool. Des already. It's nice work if you can get it. Let me have a look at the players. Alfred De Carolis, Brandon Stephen, Jason Kuhn is there, Adrian Mateus, Matthew Belcher from the UK, David Peters, Chance Corneth is playing, Brandon Wilson's playing it, Isaac Haxton's playing it, Jonathan Jaffe's playing it, Steve Chidwick is there as well, Ben Heath from the UK is playing it, Dan Smith is in that one as well. Joe Vieira is playing it, who just won a bracelet a couple of days ago. So I mean the WSOP Plus app is phenomenal for following what's going on. Add into that then the Poker News My Stack element as well, plus everything John does, and you can now watch some of the Poker Go coverage for free on another online provider's YouTube channel, which you'll have found. If you haven't seen the announcements for that, you'll find it somewhere. I mean, to be honest, it's you're pretty much set for the next month or so with enough content to keep you very occupied from Vegas, even if you can't get there yourself. I still keep looking at the hotel deals that I can get.
What percentage are you saying? Why don't I phrase it this way? That you definitely won't do this, Lee. Are you you kind of a 95% favourite to definitely not do it? Is there?
No, I'm 100% because
100%?
I'd basically come back to the locks changed at home, and
Lee,
it would.
Maybe you could say you're somewhere else. You've been called away to do some kind of audit somewhere on the.
I was even trying to contemplate I've got to go out there for a poker raffles winner. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen, to be honest. Not this year, but hey, seniors next year, Des. It's all about the seniors next year. So yeah, that's all. We'll go. Pete and Danny are both playing the seniors this year. Danny, I should give shout out to Danny Weaver. He bagged up in the what was yesterday's event. I want to say Colossus, but I don't think it is the Colossus. It's the Monster Stack. So he is still in decent stack as well. He was coming back to day 2 with about 80 bigs, so about 240k. There's 2,034 runners left in that, and it's paying about 1,500. Let me go and find Danny and see whether he's and he's very much still in. He's got 410k now, which is still about 80 bigs. So started at 11 o'clock, so 3 hours into that now, and he's built his stack and is keeping it at the 80 bigs level. There are currently 2,034 left in it, so it's paying about 1,500. So good luck to you, Danny Weaver. Plays obviously seen him at APAT events in the past, out there rooming with Pete Wigglesworth.
I saw a picture from Pete. I'm sure he put it onto Facebook today. I think he was stood with himself. I think Jeff Kimber was in there, and one Tony Kendall. I'm playing the Big O. Lots of Brits out here. Blah blah blah. And there was TK in the middle of the two of them. Good luck to one Mr. Tony Kendall. Would love to see him getting a couple of cashes on this trip.
Yeah, I know Tony's. I think Tony was not quite a farewell tour, but I think he was planning with a bit more free time to go and play a little bit more poker. And we've seen him rock up at a few APAT events in the last sort of 12, 18 months. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him at Dust Till Dawn in August if he's not got anything else planned. Quite possibly we will see him at that. So speaking of that, I mentioned it earlier on, but just if I ping over to the to the Poker Raffles page very quickly, just to say to you, just to confirm. So this we're sold out for this week. So if you're thinking of trying to get anything for this week, unfortunately not, but draws for next week. So Monday the 23rd are already up on the site. So we've got our regular weekly APAT seat, £140 seat. That sells out every single week. So if you want to get involved, then go for it. This Dust Till Dawn Summer 2025 draw, we launched it last week. We sold, say, nearly half the tickets in about the first 48 hours, and the rest of, say, it sold out yesterday completely. You'll win a £560 seat that you can use either for the DTD series that's coming up this summer, the UKPC that's coming up this summer, or you can have it as seat credit for the WCOAP. So we've already got the schedule out for that. We'll get a more detailed version will be out this week, but basically it's all already on the website, so you can see exactly what's there. You can use that for £560 seat credit, put behind the cashier desk at Dust Till Dawn, and you just rock up and spend it as you see fit. So well worth getting involved in that. Turn £1 into £560 and get to go and play the World Championship of Amateur Poker at Dust Till Dawn in August with APAT. So well worth doing. Obviously, we'll still be running the Sunday night satellites on Grosvenor as well. So we're guaranteeing 2 every Sunday, and say, as you just saw earlier on, we've dished out 4 tonight, and they can be used for any event for the rest of the year. So we're at Liverpool in next month, sort of this time next month, and then we're off to Nottingham, and then in the autumn, Portsmouth, Glasgow, Ash, Leeds, Malta, or London. We need to get that London one updated because that's no longer Aspers, it's now a Genting. So they've taken over there. We'll get that updated, and or you can even use it for squads. At the end of the year, back at Dusseldorf, last event of the year. So
choice.
And all of those events will earn you Player of the Year points as well. And as we mentioned the other week, Player of the Year at the end of the year will join Team Grosvenor at the Irish Open in 2026. They'll get a main event seat plus some expenses as well. And all basically are online events and live events will earn you points if you're in the money. We automatically do that. There's nothing you need to do to register for that. We've basically just got your details and we'll add you to the leaderboard. You can check the leaderboard out on the website and see where you're at. But obviously, huge points are going to be up for grabs in the latter part of the year because all the events at the Worlds will count and say, as you just saw then it's a really busy autumn schedule with then another it'll be about 12 events at the UK COAP in London, last but one event as well, so loads of points once we get through the summer for you to try and win that nice little trip. That is actually Grosvenor look after the players on any event they do. They've got a load going over to Vegas. I think they actually go next week, but they had about 60 odd that went out to the Irish Open last year. So joining up with them is really good fun. They run a last longer for everybody that's qualified via them as well. So you'll be involved in that as well. So
and well worth playing for. Sorry, Lee. I think you could say that for like a 3-month period, 2 months prior, a few weeks afterwards, it's the most talked about event in the poker calendar on this side of the water. The Irish Open.
I think so. Is the big, really do. And it's only going to get bigger. So anybody that was kind of tuned in when we did a Poker Raffles live stream whilst I was over there, and for this year they manic last minute hired an extra couple of halls and dumped another 40 tables in there. They've now booked that space properly for next year, so it'll be fully kitted out. It's only going to get bigger, that event over the Easter time in Dublin. I can't recommend it highly enough. I've been the last couple of years. It's great fun. Say it's a who's who of UK. But people from further afield, loads from Canada and America come over. A lot of players from the rest of Europe come over. It's really, really good fun, and kind of affordable. You could just rock up there and just play the mini main for a few nights and drink a lot of Guinness, and you'd have a cracking week. So well worth getting involved in that. But if you want involved in those draws, tomorrow night fully sold out. But for the week after, they are already up on the site, ready and raring to go. Oh, I thought every time I click back to John's spreadsheet, I worry because it goes blank for a second, and I think I've done something. But I'm genuinely only in view only, so I can't do any damage to it. But you have that kind of panic.
Always.
Is that me? Have I pressed something I shouldn't have pressed? That's really, really worrying to say the least.
But, if you don't have those concerns, Lee, then you're just not a spreadsheet person, in which case you are actually genuinely dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't tell any of my clients; they'll be fine. Honestly, won't be a problem at all. Cool. So I've got a good recommendation then to go and check out some additional documentaries and bits and pieces. Always interested in the Mike Matteso one was very watchable.
I watched.
We had him on. Do you remember the episode of The Orbit we had him on?
It's rather strange.
Where he wouldn't get out of bed.
Insisted.
To be honest, having now watched this documentary, the guy's been in a lot of pain for the last however many years with back issues and this, that, and the other. So I'm wondering whether that day where he said, "Look, I'm in bed," but he was happy to do it. It maybe genuinely he was having one of those days with meds and things where he just was like, "I'm not moving from here." And we joked about it at the time, not really knowing and to be fair, he was good value. I mean, he was really, really good in that episode. I mean, you can go. I think they're still on the YouTube channel, aren't they? You can go and check those out if you want to. The Orbit episodes are super fun to watch, and most of them still kind of stand the test of time now because what was being discussed, is very much you can watch years down the line. So it's good. Talking about blasts from the past. and I know I get mocked all the time about that thing I won a little while ago. But
what was that, Lee?
It doesn't matter. But I had somebody said, did I have a link for the time Paul and I went on the Sky Poker channel?
Oh yeah.
And I said, oh, I don't, because they don't. They didn't record them, or they didn't put them anywhere on socials. It was on, like, unless you had Sky.
Right.
That was so I never even watched it because it was live. So I never even watched it. So unless anyone recorded it, I guess, then they're gone and does it. But I did actually download the 7-episode series from the actual tournament that went out on Sky Sports, because it was on their YouTube channel. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to download that.
So it's on YouTube, Lee?
No, it's gone.
Ah, no. Right.
So they removed it.
But you could re-upload it, right?
But I've got copies of it. So I've now re-uploaded it, because I said, well, I've got these though. And they said, oh, yeah, they were interested in seeing those. Would that be okay? So I said, all right, well, I've put them up on their private, links. I don't.
Yeah.
But I did kind of go, I've not watched those for 10 years. So I did kind of put the last one. Blimey, that.
Tell me when the 10 years has gone. Can you send me the link?
I will do. Yeah.
And if anybody else wants to see them, just DM Lee, and I'm sure he'll be good enough to send you.
To be honest, I suppose I could put them up on the APAT channel and just put them in a playlist on there, I suppose, couldn't I? And just leave them there.
I mean, you absolutely could do. Make sure you don't get pulled by Sky. That would be the only.
Well, that was my only reason why. So that's why I kept them in a private,
isn't it?
Well, no. I think it is Sky Poker, because it wasn't direct from the Sky. So they give you obviously what went on Sky Sports had all ad breaks and everything else.
Yeah.
But this is these are like 7 lots of 45 minutes basically. Yeah. So it's
do it, because I haven't seen them. Yeah, I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
Yeah, with Rich Orford and I think it's Sam Grafton doing the comms on them. So yeah. So it's everyone takes the mick thinking that I'm sat there watching it once a month to bring back memories or anything, but genuinely hadn't sat and watched them for 10 years. It was like, wow, okay, that's
isn't it lovely?
That is a long time ago.
Isn't it lovely to have them though? I must admit, I tend to use YouTube a lot more today than I have done at any point in the last few years, because I took out the subscription without ads, and the app is on my TV, so I could just hit a single button. I'm in my page. And whatever I follow, be it football or whatever other interests I have, that tends to come to the fore. But from time to time, it'll throw up a little gem, either that I have a personal interest in or something new that I find. For example, I've watched a reasonable amount of extreme downhill mountain biking, seriously long races in Nepal, and you start on a snowy mountain and with 200 riders, and it's like war. So you'll come across things and you go, oh wow, that's really.
The mountain biking's good though. I mean, anyone that didn't get into the mountain, anyone that didn't get into the mountain biking at the most recent Olympics with how that race finished.
Yeah.
I mean, that
exactly.
A sport goes, it doesn't get much better than what happened there.
Yeah, and occasionally, Lee, it'll throw up the occasional APAT show from like 4 or 5 years ago, where we might have had it might have been a Peter Wigglesworth, it might have been an Adam Neal, whoever it might be. And you go, I remember that was a really good one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
we had a long chat with somebody there. There's some good stuff came out.
It's good fun.
It's nice to reflect back from time to time on some of that.
No, absolutely. No, I will ping you the link for that, and you can have a check out of what went on. It reminded me of do you remember what happened at the bubble on that tournament?
I don't, Lee. I've probably heard the story, but I don't recall offhand. So
that was me versus Sam.
Spoilers now.
No, that was the me versus Sam Trickett hand.
Ah, right. Was I sponsoring Sam at the time, Was he?
Yeah,
he was where, you bastard.
yeah.
Don't send me the link. The pain will be too much.
You put him in. I think you put him in that comp, actually.
Probably would have done. So, well, it wouldn't have been me, but I'd have been looking for him to do well. We'll put it that way. Oh, very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Do you know, Lee, I actually played. I played last Tuesday night. So
whilst you were overseas
with work, nice. Right? We were in in Malta, or an island, not too far removed from Malta, and we had a as part of the kind of away day sessions, we had a poker and pizza night. And there were 40 something of us, and tables, everything was set up, self deal, of course, and we'd everybody from absolute beginners to one young chap who'd finished runner up in a Battle of Malta main event for like 100 and something thousand euros. Wow. So we had quite a mix of skills in there, and it was really fun. And I remember thinking to myself, well, there's just no way I'll be able to do anything in this tournament because of that mix, and B, I haven't played very much in quite a while. But I somehow managed to get the final table, got down to the final four, had a really pissy hand after playing so patiently that eventually did me in. But I really enjoyed it. It took me back to the good old days where, poker was kind of played in a home game environment. There's a bit of food, there's a lot of laugh, and quite a mix of abilities, and nobody's taking it too seriously. And, that's kind of the sweet spot for me, as it might have been for a lot of us, when we started. Some players went on to take it more seriously. Over the years, I didn't. But that was always the peak of poker for me, a Saturday night with a few mates. Somebody puts the sausage rolls on at midnight, and it's just a really good laugh, That was kind of it for me.
Well, didn't you used to play... Was it London Poker Meetup?
Yeah, London Poker Meetup.
That's how you met a lot of the guys here. Yeah.
And I have to say, a lot of really good players came out of there. Because those guys were maniacs for mixed games. The likes of Dave Potts and Crikey, Woody. There was a whole host of them. Paulie D, Paul Davis, of course, used to play an awful lot there. Chewy. There was a lot of lads who were seriously decent players. A lot of them went on to play APAT for many years. Some of them still do. Particularly you see it in the team event. But those home games, just somewhere you would rock up on the night, feel excited. It was kind of a bit of a unique thing. It wasn't too serious, but it was all done in a typical sort of APAT style, fun but super competitive.
But that's why quarters given. That's how APAT.
Kind of that was always the
and that's
vision,
how APAT in the early years was just the excitement of all turning up. Now, of course, there's poker everywhere, so. Not that there isn't as much excitement with APAT. I still love it when somebody turns up to their first ever APAT event and it's genuinely they're excited about it and looking forward to it. It's nice, but obviously for some of our players now they've been playing with us for nearly 20 years. There's obviously some people that still were playing for season one that are there throughout. So Simon Law says in the chat, did you see Sam in recent Cyprus tournament? No. Is that the one that was at the Onyx? I don't know whether that's the one you're referring to. So the Onyx Club, which is Rob Young's new venture over in Cyprus. I don't know whether that's the one. I did see the picture from there. They put on a 10K kind of high roller that hit the guarantee, and so Rob was really pleased with that. And it looks a really nice setup over there. Only a small room, but really top quality. And he's got they've got a streaming area. They've got the streaming area over there, kind of how they should have it at Dusk Till Dawn. I mean, it's all like discrete cameras and all that. So it looks really, really nice. So phenomenal resort over there. So, yeah.
Sam, I think he moved to Ibiza. It certainly had the 80s DJ look. I don't know whether that's is that good? Is that bad? And Simon says yes. Rob's place, of course.
Yeah, so it's within the Merit
Hotel, right?
Yeah, it's within the Merit. So when they're doing bigger festivals over there, they use the big hotel room, but it's got its own. I don't know whether you've seen. So Rob's got an apartment over there. So I'm not saying because he's put it all. It's on his ex account, but his apartment has a lift that goes straight down into the poker.
Oh, amazing! Amazing. So he's effectively living in the stock room, is he? He's just done it up. Incredible.
Absolutely phenomenal.
He just needs a James Bond style pussycat, Rob, you are joining us tonight. Yes.
Yeah, you've got to love
Brilliant.
it. It's absolute quality, to say the least. Yeah.
Leigh.
So, I mean, the only thing, one thing I wanted to talk to you about, because we've not really chatted for a couple of weeks, is I mean, it's football related, so apologies to anybody out there that's not interested in the football. But you're about to break some ridiculous transfer record, not just for you as a club, but I mean, how as a fan do you feel about ignore the player obviously is quality, and who wouldn't want to sign him, but as a club, this is a step above anything you've ever done financially, isn't it?
So it is. It obviously is. But in some respects, if you think about it, you go back to, what was it, 2018, we broke the world record for a goalkeeper. We broke the world record for a centre-back. We attempted to buy Caicedo before Chelsea got him last summer. Was it? That was 115. That would have been a world record.
Did you really put a bid in for that? Was that really a genuine thing?
Yeah. And the player chose Chelsea ultimately at that point. Fair enough. Now, we didn't
He would have had a Premier League medal by now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely would have. We didn't spend that money. We kind of kept it. We then didn't really spend anything else last summer. So, I think what is happening now is they're kind of catching up on a bit of investment. This is true V2 stuff now, Liverpool 2.0. You might even call it 3.0, but in any event, they are investing a bit of money, and this is great to see. So as a fan, you do like to see money being invested. I think if you look at the overall numbers of FSG's investment, over the last 15 years, it's super healthy. It's not like they've invested billions or anything like that. They really haven't. Lots of clubs like Villa and even Wolves have a higher net spend, or have had. I don't know quite where we'll be now. But all of that aside, there'll be a bunch of outgoings to follow this. So, Kelleher's gone to Brentford. I think that was 12 million. A couple of other small sales have gone through. There's talk of Andy Robertson going to Atletico. Darwin Núñez either going to the Middle East or maybe to Napoli. So I think there'll be a bunch of exits once this has settled down. But what I do like, Leigh, is that I respect that a lot of money is being spent on improving the ground in terms of stands, capacity, the training centre. This management group haven't really messed anything up. They seem to have worked well with new managers and stuff like that. So they seem to be a pretty responsible bunch. I think they've earned their trust now. So the interesting thing to see will be whether there's a bit more spending done later in the window in the form of a striker, and B, I suppose this player Wirtz, he's 22. He's already won a couple of Bundesliga sort of player of the seasons. He's obviously very talented. Arguably, you've got him for 5 years. So if you amortize that sort of buy-in over that period of time, and then say, right, he's going to be potentially at his peak at around 26 or 27. If you're able to retain him in the same way as you have done Salah and Van Dijk, suddenly 115 million might not look, that bad in the way that, for example, 75 for Alisson and 75 for Van Dijk today probably kind of looks like good business.
I guess it's whether he, at 27, wants to run down his contract and then jump to a Barcelona or a Real Madrid. But ultimately, these days it seems to be with these type of things anyway. You amortize the transfer fee. You've got the wages, therefore what that player is costing you on a yearly basis for 5 years or whatever. And clubs seem quite happy with that. So not really an issue with it, isn't it? I think it's I think you're strengthening the squad at a good time. So
I had to laugh. I did put up a post on the Twitter last week, which you may or may not have seen, which was Liverpool had put in a bid of 113, so I guess that was 100 plus 13 in add-ons, and I said, that's kind of wily, that's smart, because if you can get the deal
keeping
done,
it below the
million or so below the 115, then why would you put the weight of that on the player or give lots of fans that ammunition? And I had to smile because the United stands Mark Goldbridge came and liked that one. And he himself is showing a lot of maturity these days. He's obviously trying to really grow his Liverpool and City and other clubs' viewership as well, because who from within the United community don't know or subscribe to Goldbridge. But I thought very mature stance by the club, and it kind of made sense to me that somebody like him would recognise that why would you spend more than you have to? You don't need the publicity of it. But hopefully this kid is well adjusted. Touch wood, he is, and I guess one way or another we'll soon find out.
Yeah. And obviously the World Club Championship has kicked off in the States. I can see the guys in the chat talking about it now. Bayern winning 10-0 today. I don't think there's a huge amount to say about that. I mean, once you get to the knockout stages, it might be of interest.
I think
the group stages are just there for show.
Yeah, I guess so. But what I would say is this, Lee. It feels like the beginning of something. So they're going to have to figure out stuff. They're going to have to improve it in a number of ways. But it does feel like the beginning of something in a way that the little kind of, whatever it was, 7-man Mickey Mouse thing that happened for many years didn't. So at least this feels like this representation.
It is going to be something. I think it's the same as the Nations League. Everyone thought at the time, well, what's that all about? But they've now realised that actually that's a far better structure than the meaningless friendlies that used to go on. So I think the reality of it is it's going to stick when you've got the sort of money that's being thrown up. I think the winners are going to pick up something like 97 million or something if for whoever wins it. So it's going to get backing. Obviously, interesting stuff around the broadcasting rights. I was reading an article this week about how that, because nobody wanted to touch it, and it ended up that DAZN came in and have paid $1 billion for the rights. Funnily enough, just after they had minority investment from the Saudis for $1 billion. Yeah.
Who then got the next World Cup.
Yeah, so it is all a bit of a, but ultimately money talks, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to work, and so they'll make it a success somehow, and it'll be happening again in 4 years' time.
Yeah.
So
what I'd like to see,
what's going to happen.
What I would like to see is I would like to see qualification for it determined in year 3 of the 4-year cycle. So at the end of year 3, X number of clubs qualify, so that you know that 12 months later, as large as is possible, you're going to have the clubs, the squads that are that should be there.
So I hadn't realised how the qualification worked. So basically, it was done on the club points system. So if you'd won the Champions League in any of the last 4 years, you were in, and then it was done on the points system after that, with no more than 2 clubs from any one country gaining qualification. So because Chelsea and Manchester City won the Champions League in the last 4-year cycle, that was it.
Yeah.
That filled the 2 English qualification criteria. So you could have had a Liverpool who were flying high in that and are probably scoring more. Have got more points in that ratio than other clubs that are there. But 2 was the limit. Now, obviously, you've got a situation even in Europe whereby the likes of England and Spain massively kind of cover a lot of the European competitions, and both had 5. Were going to be 5 in the Champions League next year, and England have now got 6 because of the Europa League success of Spurs. So it does sway the situation a little bit, but it's the same all the way. I hadn't realised with the World Cup qualification that So South America gets something like eight spots,
which is huge.
And there's only like 11 countries. So like eight of 11 countries qualify for the World Cup from South America every 4 years. So yeah, the qualification process is a bit of a so you're never going to have the likes of a Brazil or an Argentina or whatever not qualify. Yeah. It's pretty much an impossible thing. Whereas obviously you did have in recent times England not qualify for a World Cup, and you've had some big countries that have missed out. Didn't the Dutch miss out on one year? Or
Sure.
Yeah. So it can happen in Europe, but you're never going to get that in South America. It's just not going to be a thing.
Well, that's maybe my one. That would be my one question. I think we need a bit more creativity on the qualifying piece. That said, I'm certainly not sorry that Liverpool aren't there this year, because I just think, if you're going to spend a month playing this event, and it's interesting, PSG have just finished their match against Atletico, and that was as near as you will get to a PSG first 11. They had a couple of injuries, as I understand it, but in the first qualifier. So if you're going to have your entire squad there for 4 weeks, and there's a week or two of pre-training and what have you, that's going to have a knock-on effect to your league season the following. It can't but have a negative knock-on effect. You're going to tire at a point. So we'll have to see what the end result of that is. But I kind of have to say, I'm excited. I'm kind of a little bit excited about it in a way that I haven't ever been for the tourney that used to take place in Japan or wherever it is that we used to rock up 7 clubs to go and play that. So let's hope for some good games. Obviously,
it's here to stay,
kind of a joke game today, right?
It's here to stay, and so it's going to be an every 4-year cycle. So in a non-Euros or World Cup year, so that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, that's the way it's going to be. So, listen, I think, Lee, we might be kind of there for the evening. What do you think?
We are done, really. And the poker was a little bit short and sweet today, which is surprising considering the numbers we had there. But that satellite really did play out. If you fancy getting involved in the satellite this time next week, 2 seats guaranteed. They'll be up and running for next Sunday. You can satellite in any single day of the week. Get involved on Grosvenor Poker. £1 into £5, £5 into £30. Those don't have expiry dates on them. Use them for any £30 satellite. We'll also have some more championship events online coming soon, so you can use them for that. Or you can use those £30 tokens for anything that of Grosvenor have got to qualify for. So if you want to go and play in a GUKPT or a 25-50 or a 50-50 or whatever you want to get involved in, it's all on the website and in the poker lobby. So yeah, get involved in that. You don't have to satellite in on a Sunday night. Get your tickets early, and then you can even have a couple ready to go and take a re-entry if you think the numbers are looking worthwhile and there's a bit of value there. We have overlaid a couple of weeks by a couple of places, so there's always good value in it. But hey, even nicer when we can get 20 runners like we did tonight, and we've given away 4 seats, which means we've got 4 people rocking up to an APAT live event later on in the year. So get involved.
Happy days. So great. We're going to leave it there, guys and girls. Really nice to see you join us this evening. Hope you enjoyed the game if you played. If not, better luck next time. So Lee and I, of course, back with the APAT show next Sunday night. Do join us tomorrow evening, 9 p.m. the normal
good
time.
Luck. If you've got tickets for either of the APAT draws tomorrow night,
out,
good luck.
Right, sold out. But the same draws are live on site at the moment. But we'll be drawn the following week. But if you've got tickets for either the DTD or APAT Players' Choice draws, then we look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We'll make those draws. We'll make a couple of people very happy, of that I'm sure. And other than that, have a great week, and we'll catch up with you at some point during it.